up, everybody? Brian Tong here, and this is my Apple AirTags review. And if you aren't familiar with them, these are their new Bluetooth tracking tags to help you find things. You can put them on things and hopefully help you recover items that have been lost. And we all know a lot about these already, so I really want to show you some of the things you might not be as familiar with about AirTags, and then we're going to compare them to their biggest competition in this space, the Tile Pro tracking tags. Also, if these are supposed to help you find lost items, shouldn't we actually try to lose things and see how well they work? And more importantly, will any of them come back to us? I think that's probably a good idea, so we're gonna do that. So let's start off with the AirTags themselves. Their design is this small, sleek dish shape that measures 1.26 inches in diameter. They're 8 millimeters tall and then weigh 11 grams. And this top side, this is just completely white. They look like a Mentos, but they don't taste like them because I tried. You can customize them with characters or emojis on Apple's website when you order, and you absolutely should because they look pretty plain without anything on them, and you've got to imagine that down the road, we might get AirTags in different colors just to mix it up. These are easily the best looking Bluetooth tracking tags, but they don't have a hole in them, right? You have this continuous shape, so you can't, connect them directly to a key ring or anything like that. So unless you drop one in a bag or maybe a hidden pocket, you're gonna have to buy an accessory to attach an AirTag to something, kind of like some of these loops. Now, AirTags, they don't have any physical speaker, and they use surface actuation by vibrating the surface of the AirTags to create sound when you're trying to locate them nearby. There's no speaker grills also, so that means this is dust and water resistant with an IP67 rating, which means it's gonna last for 30 minutes, 1 meter deep underwater. And then you also have what makes it easy, the pairing process. This is as simple as you can imagine for an iPhone user. You just bring it up to your phone or tap it once, and then you'll get the setup prompt. You can name each AirTag whatever you want, and then from there, you can manage them from your Find My app. It really doesn't get any easier than that, and then once it's paired, you can do a variety of things with it. So if you named the first AirTag keys and it's nearby, you can say the magic word and ask Siri, find my keys, and it will play this chime through it to help you find it if it's within that Bluetooth range, which is roughly around 30 feet. Now, precision finding is also unique to AirTags, and it's only available if you have an iPhone 11 or higher because those phones have the U1 ultra wideband chip inside. Now, when it's within that 30-foot-ish Bluetooth range nearby, you can follow the prompt on the app to find your AirTag down to the centimeter with your phone as a guide. And I would say it works pretty well. I know a lot of you have seen how it works already, but sometimes the directional arrow gets wonky. It might change opposite directions suddenly just for a moment. And then even using precision finding at night, if the area is too dark, a prompt on screen will say, more light required. So I actually had to turn on the light of the room where the AirTag was. So it's not perfect, but it's still really good, and there's no user experience out there like it. We have AirTags with the battery life for about a year, and the battery is user replaceable. So you flip this over and you push down and twist counterclockwise on the metal part of the AirTags, and then it reveals this compartment where you can swap out or remove the battery. This is a typical CR2032 battery used with watches, and so my fingers are kind of slippery, but if I'm gonna push this, you can hear the chime, twist that back, and then the AirTag is good as gold. So those are some of the fundamentals with AirTags, and we're gonna get into the privacy aspects of it later in this video. But I've been using AirTags, for about a week now, and I haven't lost anything since I had them. And I think that's what stands out to me about them. They are totally useful, but depending on how you use them, they can be kind of totally useless at the same time until we get out more and things get back to normal. I do think there's like a peace of mind of having them on my keys, but I don't misplace my keys, and I want one for my wallet, but they're too thick for that right now until maybe someone comes up with a sleek and trendy wallet solution. But I did buy my own because it is a no-brainer as an extension to the ecosystem. I just don't know how handy they'll come in right at this moment for me. So that's why, I kind of say, it's useful, but it's useless. And at the same time, when my mom saw the keynote, the first thing she said to me is that I'm buying these for your dad. And that instantly tells you the power and the potential of this product. That's $29 for a single AirTag and then $99 for a 4-pack. So if you're in the Apple ecosystem, I think it's a great product to have, but it also has shortcomings right out of the gates because right now its biggest competition is Tile, and it doesn't look like they're gonna be playing nice with Apple's Find My app anytime soon. So let's look at the Tile Pro, which is also $29 for a single one and also has a 4-pack for $99. Now, the biggest obstacle that you have is you need to download the Tile app and then create an account before you start the pairing process. And for a lot of people, don't underestimate the power of laziness or difficulty when right out of the box, someone like my mom can just hold an AirTag to her phone and then the setup is done in literally 3 screen presses. That's the power of Apple's ecosystem right there, but the Tile Pro, it can still do more. Now, there's nothing like precision finding for the Tile Pro because it doesn't use ultra wideband, but it does have a broader range of roughly 400 feet compared to the AirTag's 30-footish range of detection. The less expensive Tile Mate that you can find for even under 20 bucks has a range of 200 feet. And I found that it's actually easier to hear tags and listen to that chime sound if you're within range to find it over precision finding because look, if your lost item is buried under something or at the bottom of a bag and it can't be heard, then I can see how precision finding really comes in handy. But playing a sound is just more effective to me to find them. And not only does Tile have a further range, the sound it plays is significantly louder than the AirTag. So here's an example of the difference. And then here's the difference through a hallway. So Tile has a further range of detection and a significantly louder speaker, but AirTags, they have better accuracy with precision finding when you need it. And I know this is a first generation product, but it's important to at least show really like a true comparison of what it can do and what it can't do. AirTags are completely sealed and we talked about their IP67 rating, whereas Tile, it has exposed speaker holes and it only has a rating of IP55, which can withstand a quick splash or a quick drop in water, but nothing longer than that. So you got to give the advantage to AirTags there. But there's also some features that AirTags could really learn and then pick up from Tile. So for example, you can pair up to 16 AirTags to a single Apple account right now. That's the limit for now. And that's more than enough for most people. Apple has hinted that maybe they could expand that in the future. Well, for Tile, its limit is 200 devices. Another big feature missing from AirTags for me right now is that an AirTag can only be linked to a single user. So you cannot share an AirTag with a family member or significant other at the moment. Tile lets you share a tag with someone else by just sending them an email. Now here's the other catch. Only one person can be directly connected to it at a time. So it will connect to the person who's closest to this Tile tag of the two of you, but it can still be shared. This is absolutely a feature that Apple needs to bring in. I don't see why they can't do it with the software update. They already have family sharing on iCloud, but right now on launch, it's not available and it hasn't been promised or hinted at. Now, one feature that is super slick with Tile, maybe one of its most underrated features that people don't talk about is when you double tap this button on it, it's gonna ring your phone to help you locate your phone. So I didn't think it would come in handy, but I've used it multiple times. So this just feels like a feature that would be made maybe even just for the Apple ecosystem, but Tile has it and Apple doesn't. We also mentioned that it has a hole built into it, so you can pop them on a keychain or items really easily. And it does make them a little bulkier, but it also makes them super convenient. And I get that Apple is a tech brand, and part of that, is really like they're a lifestyle brand these days. They've designed AirTags to just be like super fashionable and slick, and it does help their ecosystem of accessory makers to come up with different ways to attach AirTags. But one of my issues is that, to me, an accessory should not cost the same amount or even more than the actual product, right? We have their key ring, we have their different loops, and by pricing them this way, it opens up the door for other accessory makers, and that's fine. But from Apple, right, their basic accessories start at $29. That is the same cost of an AirTag, and then it goes up from there. Look, I'm sorry, but that's a bad apple. And I'm not even complaining about the Hermes accessories. If that's your thing, hey, go do it, enjoy it. But it's just hard for me to believe that this polyurethane loop is worth $29. Is it? But let's get to the meat of this review. The whole point of AirTags is to be able to find lost items and find out really how good is it at doing that. We know that Apple touts their Find My network at nearly 1 billion devices strong, and that's a huge network, but even with all those, how good is it for actually recovering a lost item in real life? Now, Tile, they tout that they have roughly 26 million of their trackers that have been sold, and they claim 90% of devices that are lost are found by their network. And I really haven't seen people really dig in and test how successfully both sides have been at actually recovering AirTags or how they compare to anyone else. So I think that's what we're gonna do right here. I spent time setting up 4 AirTags and 4 Tile Pros. I even color coded them similarly so that I could lose each pair in really 4 very different locations to see what our success rate of recovery would be. So look, I even got examples here. We got the AirTags, we got the Tile Pro. So let's get out of this room and just find out if Apple's nearly 1 billion devices network is better than Tile's 26 million. What's up, everybody? Okay, we are outside here. We're gonna do our first lost and found test. I'm here at an undisclosed location somewhere in a park in Burbank. Some of you can figure this out. But what we got here, AirTags, Tile Pro. We're gonna put these somewhere within the vicinity of each other, not exactly next to each other, and we're gonna just find out if someone's gonna find these or not. Let's go. All right, lost and found test number 2, numero dos. We are here in Ventura Boulevard. This is a place where you get a lot of foot traffic, you get a lot of cars coming by. So we have the AirTags, we got the Tile Pro here. Let's just put them down and see, will someone find these? This is not a park, this is kind of more like denser area. So let's try and see what happens. All right, so I'm still in the middle of putting this video together, but I just got a notification on my phone from Tile that the Tile lost and found number 2, which is what we put out in Ventura Boulevard, has been found. So I'm gonna check this out and see if the process works and see how we can get to getting that tag back. All right, everybody, so I think I found a spot here. This is a bench that's kind of alongside the trail, and what people do is they're gonna sit down, kind of take like a nice view, kind of, you know, relax here. And I could totally imagine someone just dropping their keys or something. So let's just put the AirTags right here. We're also gonna take our friends, the Tile Pro, put them over here. I know it's not perfect, but hey, we're gonna see if people are gonna find these things. Okay, everybody, so we've been working on putting out, you know, the lost and found tags for number 3, but I just got a notification that the AirTags lost and found number 2 was found. I went inside the Find My app. I haven't received any type of call or message yet because that's how it's set up, but it just shows how populated that Ventura Boulevard area is because we've now found both a Tile tag and an AirTag. The hardest part now is about how we're gonna recover them, but at least they have been found by some other devices, and we'll see what happens from there. Okay, so we are back here at Ventura Boulevard. It's a lot busier. There's been more cars that are on the streets and people coming by, but what I did here is we're lucky to know that our Tile tag was placed where it was, but if you were trying to find it, you go to your app, it tells you it's nearby. I'm gonna hit find, and listen to here. This is how you're gonna track it. Right here, you hear the jingle? That's all you need to know. So we found the Tile tag, number 2 lost and found, but then if we keep on walking down, we know exactly where we put our AirTags. And so the problem is that someone clearly, at least it showed that it detected the AirTags. Look, it still says it's nearby. I could play a chime, but I think it's more fun to do precision finding. So I'm gonna launch it here, and it tells me right now it's 16 feet away. It's still looking for it. Let's see if it gives me any orientation or location of it. It still says it's trying to find it. It just says it's 16 feet away. Nothing's changed here, so let's do this. 17 feet. Let me see if I can walk closer here. 15. Okay, now it says 12 feet ahead. Let's go here. 11, 10. Okay, it's down here. It's down here. Here we go. Ugh. Found him right here. Lost and found 2. Recovered. So far so good. In a highly populated area, we got both the AirTags and the Tile Pro. All right, what's up, everybody? So we are here now at Santa Monica Beach. This is our 4th location for the lost and found test. Numero cuatro, right? I got the AirTags, I got the Towel Pro here. So this is a really spread out area where it's gonna be hard to expect someone to find these, but look, we're gonna try. And what already surprised me today is that we had 2 of our trackers from both Tile and the Apple AirTags. They were at least pinged from both of their networks. 2 of them from the Ventura Boulevard spot that we dropped them at, and then the 2 that were up at that bench on the Fryman hike. No one has actually physically recovered them, but at least phones that have gone by have pinged them and showed them on my phone like, hey, this is where it's roughly located for you to go and recover. So, I mean, I've been surprised that they've worked so far. So we're gonna put these somewhere, I don't know, in this beach. I'm gonna at least try and put them in a place to give them a chance to be discovered, but we're gonna see what happens. Lost and found, AirTags, Tile Pro. Let go! All right, so I'm gonna go and try and find the tile from location number 1. And they even put it up here for me. Right here on the spot where we dropped it. Got him. There you go. All right, so I went back to the spot where we dropped the first AirTag, and it's right in that bush, but I went up to it and it is no longer anywhere to be found. So that tells me that someone found it, recovered it. Maybe they don't know what to do with it, but right now it's gone, it's MIA, and we may not ever see it come back. We'll see. Okay, what's up everybody? So my search has led me here to 4606 Lancashire. This is a Toyota car dealership. I've never been around here, but my phone says it's 300 feet away. So it's gotta be somewhere here on site. I called the reception desk to try and find it. So I'm gonna go over service. I think I'm walking in the right direction, but I'm gonna see if we can track this thing down. As we get closer, we'll see what happens, okay? See what happens here. All right, everybody, I'm here with my man Rolo. Rolo, say what's up.
Hey, how you doing, buddies?
Okay, Rolo has actually been watching me, and my phone says this thing is 250 feet away, so if we can find it, you're gonna let me just walk around a little bit, see what happens?
No problem. Just go ahead, walk around where the vehicles are. Okay. It's no problem. Hopefully you find it. I mean, hopefully you find it and everything be good.
We'll do that, all right.
I'm so starstruck, man. Sorry about that. I swear
my man.
I love you on YouTube, man.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I love you on YouTube, man.
Appreciate it. All right, well, we'll go look around, okay?
All
right, thanks, man. Great work, Brian. That was a great job. And I don't know, though, if you needed to wear a tank top, but you do you. Obviously, so much was happening throughout the first day of losing these items, and even on the second day trying to recover a lost AirTag at the Toyota dealership that I thought I was close to finding. It just shows how tough these are to recover if you don't act right away. But here's some of the takeaways that I have, and this was just an experiment to kind of give us a real world idea of what happens and which platform might be better at recovering your lost item. First of all, I was really impressed that all of these devices were eventually discovered on their respective networks. All 4 tags were discovered by the Tile network by 7 p.m., which was 8 hours after I started the test. So that was faster than Apple's Find My network. I did turn on notifications for each AirTag if they were found, but 2 of them never alerted me, and I only saw their locations the next morning through the Find My app. I did think that the AirTag at the park, it might have still been there because I never got a notification that it was discovered, but you saw when I got there that it was gone. So let's say if you really do lose one of these things, to be successful, you're gonna have to really just jump on them ASAP when they're located to hopefully recover them like I did on Ventura Boulevard. But I learned that it's still gonna be really hard to recover any item. Neither Tile or Apple gives you a direct way to contact someone who may have found your lost item. So a person who's tile savvy, they're recommended to stay next to the lost tile for 2 to 5 minutes. That's according to their website, and then leave it there so it just shows up on your app and you can try to recover it in that location. Both services, though, they give you updated locations even down to the address where your items are, but they're still approximates and they could still be on the move. And that's really what happened with the AirTag that I tried to recover at Toyota. I only went there because it was a public place where the AirTag had supposedly been detected for over a day, and even up to the minute before I got there, it said it was still at that location. But then when I arrived, I got up to 150 feet as I was kind of moving around. It wasn't using precision finding. I was still too far away for that. But all of a sudden, once I got that close, the data updated, and then it was around 0.7 miles away. And I can see specific location data on my Find My app, down even to the address, at least where it reports where my lost items are potentially at. But even if I can see that someone has my AirTag on 7th Street in San Fernando, if you're watching, I know where you live, but I can't contact them through the app, and I'm not gonna drive to someone's private residence just to retrieve it. Unfortunately, even with Apple's Find My Network, there's no way for me to send a message kindly asking someone to, hey, return my item. You know, they have to do this. They have to actually want to return it. And the reality is that they probably don't even know how to do it because this is still very new. So why hasn't the person who has my AirTag been able to get a warning that an AirTag is moving with them that doesn't belong to them? Well, that's because you have to be updated to iOS 14.5 to get that notification. So any device on iOS 13 or later can detect devices like an AirTag on the network. That's why I can see it on my end. So this is transmitting their location to me, but they likely don't have iOS 14.5 on their iPhone just yet. And they aren't getting a warning that an AirTag is moving with them, and they might not even know how to return a lost AirTag by tapping it to their phone to trigger the NFC feature. But this also brings up a really important point. If I can see the constant movement of a person with my AirTag and they have no idea, can't this be used in the wrong way? And yeah, the answer is yes, but that's why it's gonna be important for you all to upgrade to iOS 14.5 so that your device can tell you if an AirTag that is not yours is moving with you. So if you don't have iOS 14.5, then you'll never receive that notification, and it's likely that people that have my AirTags are not running iOS 14.5. And let's say that even if they are, it's been over 2.5 days now, and no one has still contacted me to try to return my AirTags. So, I think the conclusion here is yes, AirTags can help and may help you find a lost item, but you have to rely on an individual to figure out how to return an item to you or even want to return it. And then if no one is returning my keys, is that same person gonna plan on returning my lost bag? I don't think so. Plus, in case you're wondering, anyone can turn off an AirTag by removing the battery like we showed you, but just like your iPhone, once this is paired to your account, no one else can use it. There is no hard reset, so this just becomes completely useless to a person who doesn't own the AirTag themselves. The other cool thing about AirTags is it works with Android phones, so you can't pair an AirTag to an Android phone. There's no app for them at the moment, and I never say never, but I'm gonna say it's never happening. But if an Android phone user finds an AirTag, they can just take the AirTag and tap it to activate the NFC, and it's gonna launch their web browser to a site that identifies the AirTag. If the owner has marked it as lost on your Android phone, you'll see a message and a phone number to get it back to you. So this works the same on an iPhone as well. I know it's still very early, and I think that we still have, a big learning curve for the general public and even the tech-savvy audience to just really understand what to do when they find these, because even if I can see where my item is, and it doesn't mean that I'm getting it back. Like, the big thing that I hope Apple can do in the future is at least create maybe some sort of anonymous message that pushes to someone to contact me to return it when I see that someone has it. The only AirTag I've been able to recover is the one that I physically went out to get right away, and the second one at the park was already gone, but I was never notified that it was even discovered. So for towel tags, luckily, no one grabbed the Burbank Park one that I retrieved at night, and then the person who found it, they just left it on top of the cement area in hopes that I would come back to get it, and I did at the end of the day. But there's no way for a tile user to even directly contact one another in either direction right now. So considering all these things, I think that there's improvements that can be made to both systems, but both services ultimately were able to find all of my lost tags in less than 24 hours. Tile did it in roughly, less than 7 hours. Apple's notifications were inconsistent during this test, and yes, I know it was 4 days after they went on sale, so it will likely improve, but I was still able to locate where all my AirTags had been taken less than 24 hours later. So what's the verdict here? I did say it earlier, AirTags can be 100% useful for the right people. It gives you a peace of mind to hopefully find a lost item, but if you don't really lose things, they might also feel a little useless at the same time. You know, it's kind of a just in case precaution, and it's almost more useful to me for items that you might misplace constantly around your house, like your keys, your wallet, or maybe you have a specific bag. If you stacked them up right now, I do believe Tile is a more polished product. It offers more features and more functionality, and even at least in the Los Angeles area, the Tile community discovered my items faster than Apple's Find My Network did in this first real world test less than a week after AirTags launched. But if you're in the Apple ecosystem, look, that still matters. It always matters. AirTags are easy to use. They're easy to set up. They have the core features that you need. And the fact that someone can potentially contact you directly to recover your lost item, that matters. Tile still doesn't even have that. So look, that's why I'm getting them for my parents. I'm getting these for my family members. We're all right in that ecosystem, and that's why I say it matters. You also got to bring this up. AirTags are also more fashionable and more stylish, and I got to be honest, that does matter to some people. And you know, those accessories, they're gonna blow up a little. So if you weren't locked into Apple's ecosystem already, I really believe that this might be that final nail that keeps you in it. And we know that there will be stories to be told of like found items with AirTags. And you know, you might even have love stories that bring two people together because of AirTags. I mean, that's how you can tell that this video is getting long when I'm starting to romanticize this. So I think I should just end it now. But AirTags, they're a winner for Apple users. They integrate into the ecosystem while eventually becoming invisible. And they are really the cheapest product that leverages this ecosystem as well. I think that the found notifications, they have to get better. That was really my biggest letdown. And AirTags, you know, they're gonna get more features over time. But going through this whole experiment really taught me whether you go with AirTags, whether you go with Tile, the big takeaway here, the most important thing to remember is your chances of retrieving your lost item is only gonna be as good as the person who found it.